Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my June TBR. I can't believe we are already almost halfway through the year. That is just crazy to me, but I am really excited that summer is basically here because summer is by far my very favorite season. If you guys saw my last video, it was me showing my entire physical TBR. So while I was going through and organizing all of my unread books, I did a little bit of a switcheroo. So now all of my summery beach reads are on the cart, which has me so excited because I love summer reading. Just reading by the pool or at the beach is my favorite. So I'm hoping I pull some good prompts today to pick out some good pool and beach reads for the month of June. I'm also feeling very motivated because I did an amazing job at sticking to my TBR last month, if I do say so myself. I completed reading almost all the books on my TBR, and the ones that I haven't completed, I've made a good dent in. So I will finish them very early in June. So with that, let's jump right in. I'm planning on pulling 6 prompts today. I feel like that is the perfect ideal number for me. So let's get right into it. Prompt number 1 is a book title that starts with "the." Okay, I feel like that shouldn't be too hard because I feel like a good many books start with "the." But as I'm looking at my cart, I don't see a single one. Okay, wait. On the bottom we have "The Dinner List," "The Messy Lives of Book People," "This Story." Okay, we have a lot. Just kidding. "The Love of My Afterlife," "The Happy Ever After Playlist," "The Paradise Problem," "The Wedding People." Okay, there actually are so many. I feel like the ones calling to me the most right now are "The Happy Ever After Playlist," and I do really want to read "The Wedding People" this summer, but I kind of want to save it for a beach trip, so I might push this one back just for now. We also have "The Road Trip" by Beth O'Leary. This to me feels like it would be a fun summer rom-com. I love a road trip story. I'm gonna flip the card around. "The Unhoneymooners," "The Roughest Draft," "The Spanish Love Deception." Okay, I think of all the books that start with the word "the," "The Road Trip" and "The Happy Ever After Playlist" are the two that I'm the most excited about. "The Happy Ever After Playlist" is the second book in Abby Jimenez's Friend Zone series, which she is my favorite romance author. I've heard really great things about this book in particular. I've heard people say it's their favorite of the series, and I definitely want to read all her backlist books. I only have 2 left. And then "The Road Trip," Beth O'Leary is slowly becoming one of my favorite rom-com authors as well. And I was thinking this would be a fun one for the summertime. It involves a wedding and a road trip. Both of those things just feel very summertime coded to me. I think I've decided the book I'm gonna go with for this prompt is "The Road Trip" by Beth O'Leary. Like I keep saying, just the road trip and the fact that they're going to a wedding feels very summertime coded for me. I am going on a road trip next week actually, so I feel like this will be perfect to maybe bring along on my trip and read. And I feel like it's going to be a lot of tension and forced proximity, them being in this car together, and the 2 main characters were actually exes. So I feel like that will just be so fun. I love the humor in Beth O'Leary's books, and I love how her characters are very quirky, and I feel like her stories always have a very unique premise. So I can't wait to read more from Beth O'Leary. And this one got adapted, I think, into a show, so I definitely will watch the show after I read the book. Okay, prompt number 2 is a book set in a city. "You with a View" I really wanted to read this summer. This is another road trip book, and for some reason I'm just feeling that for the summertime. I'm not sure where exactly they're road tripping to, but I know it's somewhere out west, so it could be set in a city. I actually don't know if this would be the best option because I think a lot of it is going to actually take place in the car while they're road tripping, so there's probably a better option on the cart. "The Spanish Love Deception." I know it takes place somewhere in Spain. That could definitely be a big city. The 2 main characters are from New York and going to Spain for the FMC's sister's wedding. This one might work, but I still can't really tell where in Spain it takes place, so we'll put that one on the back burner. "Middle of the Night" by Riley Sager is his release from last year. For some reason, I feel like this does take place in a city like New York or something. In the suburbs of New Jersey. So not quite, but I do really want to read that one this summer. All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata, I think takes place out west, so it could be a city like Denver. Pagosa Springs, Colorado. Actually, I feel like this kind of gives small town vibes, so maybe not. 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. I have to read in June. I've been trying to read this book in June for like the past 2-3 years, and it just never happens, and this needs to be the year that I make it happen, and I'm pretty sure this book takes place in New York. Whether or not that's New York City, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it does. Yeah, it looks like the opening scene takes place at a restaurant in Times Square, so this could definitely be a great option for that prompt, but I'm going to keep looking just in case. I'm going to go with 7 Days in June by Tia Williams for this prompt because after reading the back, I can confirm their 7 Days in June is set in Brooklyn, so that is very fitting, perfect for the prompt. I know in this one we follow 2 writers who met back in the day at a literary event, and they have been writing their books about one another for years. I think something happened and they lost touch, and so it becomes a second chance romance, and I've heard the most wonderful things about this book, and every year in June I try to read this book, but I think I start it like too late in the month, and then when July rolls around I'm just not in the mood for it anymore, as weird as that sounds. So I'm gonna try starting it earlier in June to hopefully actually read it in the month where it's set. I feel like that would be so fitting, so I can't wait to read this one in June. Okay, prompt number 3. A book with a couple on the cover. We could do All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata for this one because the couple is on the cover even though they're cartoon drawings. One Star Romance, The Love Wager. Both have couples on the cover, but I'm more excited about All Roads Lead Here, I think. So I'm gonna flip the card around and see what other options we have on the other side. Spanish Love Deception we could go back to. We have the cartoon couple on the cover. Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. The couple is on the cover. Really was saving this for June actually because when I picked it up earlier in the year, this book was released in January, and as I was flipping through I saw that it's actually set in June, so I was like, oh perfect, I'll save it for then. I'm gonna add this one to the stack. You with a View technically has the couple on the cover. All good options, and I think I'm gonna cap it there. Okay, so our small stack here, first we have You with a View, and while it is another road trip story, this one is set out west, or they're at least going on a road trip out west, which was on my radar for the month of June because I actually am going on a trip out west at the end of the month. So in my mind, I was like, I kind of want to read this around the time I'm going on my trip, but we have other good options too, so I'm not 100% on this one yet. The next one is Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. I love Sarah Adams. This is her 3rd book in her When in Rome series, which hasn't been my favorite, but I was really excited for this book because it's a rivals to lovers story, which I have discovered is one of my favorite tropes, and I'm really excited for the sister that we're following in this book. Just what we got of her in previous books, I was really excited to read more from her, and I just love Sarah Adams books. They're such a good time. They're very fluffy, they're fun, they're cute, and that is what I'm needing. I feel like I haven't read a fluffy, fun rom-com in a while, so I would be very down to pick this one for that prompt. And we also have All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. Mariana Zapata writes very slow burn romances, and I know this is single dad nanny trope, which I tend to like that trope depending on how it's done. And this is another book set out west, which I thought would be fun to read around the time of my trip. So we have 3 very good options for this prompt of couple on the cover. I think I'm gonna go with Beg, Borrow, or Steal for this prompt just because I'm so in the mood for a fluffy rom-com. I feel like romance is my top genre, but the ones I've been reading recently have been more like emotional romances. So I definitely just want something fun and cute, just a serotonin boost, and that is exactly what Sarah Adams books give. I also am in the mood for small town romance. Rivals to Lovers story sounds like so much fun. I feel like I'm just gonna have a great time reading this one, and I'm really excited to finally check off the 3rd book in this series. Okay, prompt number 4. Oh, we got 2. Okay, I'm gonna grab the top one. Prompt number 4 is a book you bought secondhand, which is a good many of the books that are on the cart because I do like to thrift a lot of my books. I wasn't seeing too many books that I thrifted on the other side that I really wanted to pick up, but on this side we have a few options. We could go back to You with a View because I did thrift this one. And then I also thrifted some YA summer romances that I haven't pulled yet as options. We have Float and Alex Approximately. I feel like of these two, I'm maybe leaning more towards Alex Approximately just a little bit. The vibes are kind of giving The Summer I Turned Pretty, and it just sounds like a fun summer setting, whereas this one feels more like it would be good if I was going on a vacation or like a beach trip to bring this with me. But both sound cute. I think I'm gonna stick with Alex Approximately as an option though. Between these two, I'm really not sure. You with a View was on the radar, and I kind of feel like there's more of a chance I'll read this one because of my trip coming up. But Alex Approximately sounds like it's just gonna be an easy, fun YA bingeable romance. I think I am going to go with You with a View by Jessica Joyce for this one just because I've already been picking it as potential options for previous prompts, and it was on my mind and on my radar for books I wanted to read in June. So I might not get another chance if it doesn't work for the next couple prompts that I pull. So I'm going to go ahead and pick it while it works for the prompt. And this one just sounds so fun. Again, another road trip story. I know our main character's grandmother just passed away, and she's going through her old photos and she finds this picture of her looking smitten with this man, and she posts a TikTok and says, "Can anyone place this man?" And the guy who responds is her nemesis from high school, and he's like, "Oh, that's my grandfather." And they all end up going on this road trip together. It was the road trip that her grandmother and this man, I think, had planned to go on. So it just sounds like a really fun time. I feel like it's going to be a forced proximity situation again with them on this road trip and the car together, especially with the grandfather tagging along. I feel like there's going to be lots of humor, and I've heard really good things about Jessica Joyce's other book in particular, The Ex-Vows, so I definitely would like to read that one next if I end up loving this one. So excited to see what I think. Okay, 2 more prompts. Prompt number 5 is a book that matches the current season. That is perfect. It's technically spring, but we're going into summer, so I think anything summertime coded is gonna be acceptable. Middle of the Night by Riley Sager, again, was his release from last year, and I believe it's set in the summertime. Oh, it actually says it's set in July, which I think would still count, but maybe that would be fun to save this one for next month. All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. I remember someone telling me this takes place during the summer, so I've kind of been saving it for this time of year. Yeah, it says it's the start of summer, tourist season, and she's going out west. So this would fit the vibes of the prompt as well as my trip out west at the end of the month. So I will add this to the start of a stack for options. Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan is definitely on my radar. I know this was a lot of people's favorite book last year, and I've heard great things. I've read 2 Annabelle Monaghan books. I really loved Nora Goes Off Script. Same Time Next Summer was just okay, but I've heard that this one is kind of the fan favorite. So I'm hoping that when I read it, I'll love it as much as everyone else. I feel like this could definitely work since it's a summertime romance. I would be happy with either of these. Honestly, if I could make these prompt 5 and prompt 6, I would do it. I would love to read both of these in June. But if I could only pick one, I feel like they both fit the prompt. I do feel like All Roads Lead Here was maybe a little more on my radar just because it's set out west. And again, my trip I'm going on, sorry for being annoying bringing it up 5,000 times, but I like when my books fit what I'm doing and match the vibe. I read a few MZ books. Some have worked for me, some have just been okay, but I feel like this one I've heard is a lot of people's favorites. Kind of the same thing for Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. And this one is a shorter book too. I think I'm gonna go with All Roads Lead Here, mostly because of the setting, and I feel like summer romance I could either pick with my next prompt, or I have the rest of the summer to read it, and this one just feels very fitting for this month. I'm really excited to see what I think of it. I haven't read from MZ in a while, but again, she is the queen of the slow burn, and I love a good slow burn. I also love a good single dad nanny romance. So excited to see what I think of this one. I think it's gonna be a little bit longer. Yeah, it's over 500 pages, but I'm hoping that I enjoy it. Okay, final prompt. Prompt number 6 is a book that is part of a series. We could go back to the Happy Ever After playlist since this is book 2 in the Friend Zone series. The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes is the start to the Natural series. I don't know if I'm really feeling that right now for a summertime read though. We could try to attempt redeeming 6 again. I know this has been on a million TBRs, but I honestly don't know if I'm gonna have the time to read it next month is the thing. I think I'm just gonna make it simple and go with the Happy Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez. I was considering picking this one earlier, and I am very excited about it. Again, I've heard this is the fan favorite of the series, and I really enjoyed the first book. I think even more than most people, so I'm hoping that means good things for the fan favorite book, that I'll like it even more too. This one follows a character that we met in the first book, and based on what happened to this character in the friend zone, I'm very curious to see how her book is gonna go. So I am really excited to read this and hopefully get to it in the month of June. So the 6 books on my June TBR are the Happy Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez, All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata, You with a View by Jessica Joyce, Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams, 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, and The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary. So that is going to conclude my June TBR. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please comment below and let me know what's on your TBR for the month of June. If you've read any of the books that are on my TBR, let me know all your thoughts on them. If there's anything you think I should prioritize and pick up first. If you want to see anything in a reading vlog, let's chat about books down below in the comments. If you're still loving the TBR jar picking out my reads for the month, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you are not already subscribed, make sure you hit the red button down below to stick around. I would love to have you guys here, and it really helps out my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you so soon in my next video. Bye guys.